Hello and welcome back. We are still in day 12 and there are a lot of knowledge that we need to absorb, so let's continue. We spoke about access on voice VLANs, we spoke about trunking and dynamic trunking and different types of configuration. I spoke about native VLAN and now it is time to talk about inter-VLAN routing. So let's just hop in. Okay, so we did configure something in our lab. Let's just go back to our lab. And I showed you that, for example, PC5 is in VLAN 15, PC6 is in VLAN 16, PC9 and 10 are in VLAN 16. How can I make sure that the traffic between these two can be reachable? There is a very small trick in here. We don't need to configure router in our network. Although there is a way, something that we call it a router on a stick, but of course this is very much simple if you have a layer 3 switch in here. If you have a layer 3 switch in here, there is a command on some of the older switches that you need to configure so that layer 3 switching is going to be enabled. You can just check the documentation and figure it out, but most likely you are not going to need it. And it is called IP routing distributed. But like I said, in my lab environment, this is layer 3 switch. I don't really need to configure that command. But in case you need it, you need to do this like this. You go to your configuration, and I'm just going to log in. Then I'm just going to go to enable mode, and again, it has an enable password. I go to configuration, and then I say IP routing. And on these switches, you need to say distributed. Like I said, this is not supported on my specific environment. The only thing that I need to have is called IP routing. Okay, so this is I don't really need to do this. But what I'm trying to say is I need to have something which is called an interface VLAN for the VLANs that I need to have inter-VLAN routing. That's all you need to configure. In my case, I have only a management interface VLAN, which is on VLAN 1. And I told you that this is not advisable. You should go with some other VLANs for management VLAN. But let's say the VLAN 1 is going to be, because this is a lab environment, that's okay. Now I'm just going to configure some other VLAN interfaces, and they should be configured in different levels. Most likely they are going to be configured on aggregate switches, which is called distribution switches as well. So on access switches, normally you do not have a connection between the switches. Most likely the connections are going to happen in here. So what I'm going to do is to remove this connection between access switches, so the topology is going to be exactly what it needs to be. So I'm right clicking on this link and I'm going to say delete, and the link is going to go. So now what we have here is this is going to be an access layer. Let me just add to this. I'm just going to go to add a text, and this is going to be like this, and increase it. And then I'm going to put it right here. This is one layer. And also I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm just going to move it up like this. This is going to be my a distribution layer, and also because this is a collapsed core distribution layer, so this is going to be core and distribution at the same time. But what I said is your VLAN interfaces are going to be configured on these switches, on distribution switches, not on access switches. Access switches are going to be purely layer 2 switches. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to switch 1 and switch 2. I'm just going to configure VLAN 15 interface and VLAN 16 interface on both of them actually. So okay, you can have it on just one of them. That's going to be enough, but I'm just going to configure on both of them. So on switch 1, I'm just going to say interface VLAN 15, interface VLAN 15, and I'm just going to say no shot, the first command that you need to do. I'm just going to add an IP address. IP address is going to be 10, 10, 15, 1, because this is switch 1. I just go with 1. Then I'm going to say 255, 255, 2550. That's all. I'm just going to have another interface, VLAN 16. And IP address is going to be 10.10.16.1. And no shut, of course. Now I'm just going to end and save the configuration. I'm going to say show IP interface brief. And both of these VLANs are up and running. Same thing, I'm going to do them on switch 2. So I'm just going to go to switch 2. Login. Then I'm going to say configure terminal, interface VLAN 15, no shot, IP address is going to be 10.10.15.2, 255.255.2550, and then I'm going to say interface VLAN 16, no shot, IP address is going to be 10.10.16.2 and 255.255.255.0. Later I will tell you why I created this on both of these switches, and I told you that one of them is going to be enough for our lab for now, but later there are going to be some more features that we are going to add to here. Those features are called first hop redundancy protocols. Okay, let's just go in. Then I'm going to use these addresses as the gateways for these switches, for these PCs. Let's say that for now I'm just going to use one of them, switch ones. All of them are going to have switch ones, VLAN interfaces as a gateway. Okay, setup HRP is going to be configured later. So let's go to switch 5, to PC5. If you remember, I said IP is, let me just go back to here and get to the IP configuration. This is the IP address, 10.10.15.5. I'm going to add a gateway IP address, which is going to be 10.10.15.1. So from now on, if I don't know any destination, if I cannot reach to any destination, I'm going to send it to this. Okay, so this is going to be in the same VLAN. For PC6, if you remember, I'm just going to go back up so that I can get to this point, which is the IP configuration. This is going to be 10.10.16.1. So this is a gateway. Gateway means that I don't have reachability to the network. I go for this, and I need to say save so that this is going to be saved for the configuration file. On PC7, this is in 15, so I'm just going to go up and say 10.10.15.1, save. Same thing on PC8, 9, and 10. PC8 is in VLAN 15, so that would be 10.10.15.1, save. PC9 is in VLAN 16, save. And PC10 is in VLAN 16. 10.10.16.1, save. Okay, now we are referring to a gateway, which is going to be our exit door. So that's going to be on switch 1 in this case actually. So let's try a different configuration. From PC5 to PC7, they are in the same VLAN. So on PC5, I'm just going to say ping 10.10.15.7. We should reach there, no problem. What about PC6? This is in another VLAN. So if I try to say PC6 is in VLAN 16 and the IP address is this, now we should be able to reach there. The first one is timeout, that's because of the ARP message, but the rest of them are reachable. What about PC8? PC8 is in VLAN 15. Can I reach there? So if I say 15.8, reachability is there, so I can get to everything on switch 4 as well. What about PC9? So if I go to PC9, reachability should be there. Very good. Also, PC10 should be reachable as well. So you can see that we have something which is called Inter-VLAN Routing. Without configuration, a lot of configuration, the only thing that I configured was an interface VLAN configuration. That's all that I did. Let's go back to here and see what we are missing. There is another feature which is called routing between VLANs rather than SIG or SVI. Now, configuration of this, although we do not really need that, this is very possible. How can you do that? You're going to add a router to one of these ports. And I'm just going to explain this. I'm not going to configure this. Okay, so let's just do this. I'm just going to say I have, let's say, a router connected to this. I don't have inter-VLAN routing. I don't have any interface VLANs on switch 1 and switch 2. All I have is a port in here. From switch 2's point of view, this is a trunk. From router's point of view, this is two sub-interfaces. These two sub-interfaces, one of them is going to be encapsulation .1q 15, and it's going to have an IP address of, let's say, 10.10.15 something /24, right? The other one is going to have encapsulation .1q16, and this is going to be configured with 10.10.16 whatever /24. And then the router is going to start doing the routing. Like I said, no interface VLANs on here and here. The only thing that I want to have is going to be this router. This router is going to have two sub interfaces, and the configuration is going to be like this: encapsulation.1q15 and encapsulation.1q16. And you know how to do this. You are not going to say interface, for example, this is interface, this one is interface E00. E00. Okay? So how do you configure a sub-interface? You're going to say interface E0/0 and then a dot in here and whatever number that you want to put in here. Whatever number. I just go with the actual number in here, but you don't have to. And under that, you're going to say, this means that this is a sub-interface, it's not an interface. This is going to be virtually created for you. You're going to say encapsulation.1q15 IP address is going to be, let's say, 10.10.15, let's say 254, for example. And 255.255.255.0. And then you're going to have the other one, interface E0016 encapsulation .1q16, and then IP address is going to be 10.10.16.254, for example, something like this. So from switch point of view, the interface is trunk. From router's point of view, the interface is not going to be used. Some interface is going to be used for us, and that is going to be something that we call a router on a stick. Why? Because as you can see, this is very much similar to a router which is connected to the switch with one stick in here. Like I said, I'm not going to configure this because this is not going to be necessary. This is not a kind of a configuration that you really wanted. If you don't have layer 3 switches, then this is going to be the way to go. But distribution switches are always going to be layer 3 switches. So you do not really need to have this kind of a configuration. Okay, so we did this, and I explained how you can configure that. It is very simple and cost effective because you don't really have to have layer 3 switches, but it can create bottlenecks. Why? There is one link only, and that link is going to be subdivided into sub-interfaces. Say you have 10 VLANs, say you have 100 VLANs, then this is going to cause a bottleneck. This is going to not going to be enough to handle all that traffic this is generated between the VLANs. So you should be very careful about this. Okay, so I configured Inter-VLAN routing for you, and we verified VLANs and trunk information using show interface, show VLAN brief, show interface trunk, and we can have show MAC disabled to confirm learned MAC addresses. We're going to talk about this specifically when we talk about spanning tree, and we're going to be able to ping between VLANs as I did for you, and also show interface something. Switchport is going to give you full information about the layer 2 characteristics of the interface itself. Okay, so what is troubleshooting tips? Be very careful about this, and of course it's going to be very important. First thing is, you're going to make sure that native VLANs are the same on all the switches. If you change native VLAN from one switch to, let's say, 999, for example, every switch should have the same thing. Access ports should be configured correctly. Be very careful about the configuration. Show interface switchport is the command that you want to have. Show interface E00 switchport, for example, tells you what is the operational mode, what is the administrative mode. They should be the same almost. Trunk is not established. If you have dynamic trunking, this is going to be a problem. I told you what modes are going to create trunking. If you do not disable negotiate one side trunk, the other side active, or let's say desirable actually, is going to create a trunk. both sides desirable creates trunk. One side desirable, one side auto is going to create trunk. Both side trunk is going to create the trunk. But one side, let's say trunk, the other side auto, or both sides auto does not create a trunk for you. Be very careful about this. Also encapsulation mode. Like I said, this recent switches, they only have .1Q, so this is not going to be a problem for you. But if you are using an older switch, then one side could be ISL. Older switches default to ISL. And also routing missing. Be very careful about switch virtual interfaces. This is the interface VLANs that I created. Also, if you have a router, that is going to be the sub interface, which is going to help you do that. Okay, so the key takeaways, we have access ports, we have trunk ports. Access ports have only one VLAN, trunk ports can carry multiple VLANs. Like I said, I told you access port is like an alley, trunk port is like a highway. .1Q tagging adds tag of information 4 bytes to a frame. Native VLAN does not have any tag, and on both sides should be the same. And also layer 2 switch or router for Inter-VLAN configuration should be used. Okay, I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also drop your questions in the comments, and hit that hit that bell button. Why do I call it ring? Bell button, so that you are going to be notified whenever there is a new video. Hope to see you in the later videos, and bye for now.